Hi, I'm Michaela Wilsusen. This is Crystal Bronson, Abby Marish. We are from the Central City FFA chapter, and we are here with David Vetter from the Grain Place. First off, share a little bit about the background of your operation.
We actually started working toward selling organic grains to consumers when I came back to the family farm after grad school, having no idea how we were going to do it, where there was a market, how to do distribution, because there was absolutely no infrastructure for distribution and marketing of organic grains. So that's the real long-term background, and after that it's just been one, how do I want to put it, discovery after another. We're located on Nebraska Highway 14, halfway between Interstate 80 and Highway 30, almost to the foot. We've been certified organic here since 1977, when our first crops were certified, and we've been working in that market ever since.
What is your philosophy behind your farm?
Try to put that in a nutshell for you. One of the things that we're looking for in our management strategy is to have the farm be as self-renewing as we can make it. Our objective is to have it be sustainable, productive, profitable, resilient, without outside inputs. That's a hard one to get to. The last, I think it's 12, 13 years now since we've purchased outside inputs other than seed and fuel. And we continue to improve productivity. And I guess with drought conditions the way we are, we'll learn a little bit more about resilience.
What crops do you grow?
Our primary cash market crops are corn, popcorn, soybeans, and an heirloom barley, an heirloom naked barley. And then the other piece in that mix is grass-finished beef.
What is your typical crop rotation?
Our crop rotation is a 9-year rotation. We come out of 3 years of grass legume mix on which we rotationally graze our cows, and we go cow-calf to finish on our grass beef project. That's followed by soybeans, and then we come in with corn. Then we come in and follow corn with barley, typically underseeded with some other grasses or legumes, maybe brassicas, anything that we think we can get to grow that will provide some green manure crop and maybe late fall and winter grazing. Then we come back again the next spring with soybeans, then popcorn, and then back to barley. And with barley, we typically try to reestablish our grass legume mix for grazing for the next 3 years.
What measures have you taken to cope with weather variations?
The rotation. As an example, to modify that, the barley crop, probably in more years than not, does not make us any money. But if we have a dry spring, we always have a good barley crop, and that always leads to a little bit lower yields with our corn, popcorn, and soybeans, and that keeps our overall farm return at a higher per acre average. And that's one of the reasons we use it there, plus providing the additional diversity that gives us checks and balances in weed management and crop insect management.
Take us through your typical day at work.
I don't know what that is. That's really varies. I don't spend much time on the farm anymore. I've spent very little time on the farm now since the early 1990s. This project here takes more time than I have. So I'm spending most of my time behind a desk now and on the telephone.
What kind of grain cleaning do you have here at your operation?
We have storage for incoming grain of, let's see, what have we got? About 20,000 bushel, and it's way short of what we need right now. I should probably have at least another 100,000 bushels of storage for the capacity that we're handling. And so we have to depend on on-farm storage with the farmers that we work with and then try to coordinate delivery. We have, in our grain processing facility, we have 2 basic grain cleaning lines that consist of a screen cleaner, destoners, gravity tables, polishers, and color sort systems so that we can color sort the finished grain. Our original line has a capacity of about 5,000 to 7,000 pounds an hour that we can handle, and the new line about 20,000 to 25,000 pounds an hour. And then in addition to that, we also have grain lines for infrared processing so that we can do rolled and processed grains like rolled oats, rolled wheat, rye, barley, rice, do a lot of specialty ingredients. And then we have another processing milling lines where we manufacture specialty diets for companion birds and dogs and cats and rabbits and whatever.
How do you decide whom to source from?
First of all, we look for organic farmers that have some history, or new farmers, beginning farmers that have a compatible philosophy with ours, if we can find those, to develop that supply. We prefer to work with older and more established farmers because they traditionally produce better quality than beginning farmers in the conversion process.
What type of contract services do you offer?
Contract services? Oh my. We do specialty packaging for all kinds of niche markets. We do contract manufacturing. That's where we do all of our bird diets. So we do everything from specialty formulas for the big cockatoos and parrots down to finches. And we also make some hand-feeding wildlife rescue formulations for debilitated and injured birds. We make a series of cake mixes so you can bake cakes for your pet bird, dog cookie mix, and a variety of things like that. And then we do a lot of specialty packaging, private label for microwave popcorn, especially for new and innovative companies.
What kind of labor force is required for your operation?
It's probably different than the one we have. It grows and changes so fast that we have a hard time keeping up with what we need in terms of skill in the labor pool. But currently we employ about 27 people.
What are your typical markets, and where do you choose to see your products?
The vast majority of our products are contract manufactured products, so you will see them not under our brand name, but they'll appear in market under a number of different brands. Some of them are merchandised all around the world, and others are locally, regionally, but most of our products, if you find them in a market somewhere, will appear in a bulk bin. And we have access to bulk bin markets from coast to coast. Our principal distributor is the largest one in the country, and probably east of the Rocky Mountains, we've probably got about a 40% market share in organic bulk bin sales on popcorn. And to various other degrees in the other products that we work with the same distribution company.
How is the Grain Place involved in the community?
Oh, well, we employ a few people. That helps a little bit. We try to support and participate in other things. We donate to the other schools in the county, popcorn, for instance, for all their concessions. We do other programs like that with other groups and projects. We've done specialty projects with school classes in the past. We participate in some classes at the university on a regular basis. I serve as a guest instructor on occasion for a couple of classes in the graduate program. And the other thing that we do, we have an open house tour every summer here that we've been doing now since the early 90s. And we try to keep people from the university involved and the local community as much as we can.
What is the most challenging thing about your operation?
Finding enough organic farmers. We have a lot more market than we have farmers that can produce to meet it.
About which aspects of your operation are you most passionate about?
I guess the one thing that I get the most excited about is when we can do something or work with particularly a young farmer getting started that's wanting to convert to organic, and anything that we can do to contribute to that process to help them be successful.
How do you see farming conditions changing in the future?
I see in the future, I think we're going to be facing a lot of weather pattern volatility. We're going to be seeing rapidly changing pressures from both disease and weed pressure. And I think one of the real keys to that in the future is going to be increasing our diversity and complexity of what we do in our management systems in order to counterbalance those trends.
How do you define sustainable agriculture?
I would define, that's a definition I've been working on for a long time, and I'm not there yet. And I look at a lot of what we do that a lot of people would define sustainable, but I'm not there yet. I think there's 2 or 3 things. It's managing for diversity, complexity, and resilience, and the ability to be completely self-renewing without having to depend on a lot of outside resources.
What things are the Grain Place doing that you would describe as sustainable?
Our cropping rotation, our whole cropping system, they're more sustainable than a lot of them, but they're still not sustainable the way we're managing them. And part of what we're trying to do is to discover what else it is that we can do to increase that opportunity to actually be sustainable. One of the things that we've tried to do is to develop a way to measure, and we've been working with the university some 15 years on research projects here, to measure what we can do with the farm to also provide additional ecosystem services. And we've been trying to measure that with what they've called the Healthy Farm Index, and look at some sustainability issues being measured by the diversity of the bird populations and the success that different wild bird populations have in nesting and in raising young.
What do you intend to do to become more sustainable?
To be more sustainable, we're looking at ways to try and increase our diversity. We've got a few things we want to experiment with this year. We've found some small collections of some specialty beans that we want to try planting with our corn. And these are vining beans, similar to you'd look at as a pole bean. We think there's some significance to be gained there. There are some bean varieties out there now that may prove to be a major attractant to insects that should help us control insect pests. So those are some things that we're kind of interested in, and then maybe to increase that diversity within the crop. That's one of the pieces we're looking at. The other one is how do we manage tillage to be more, to keep our soils more stable so that we're doing less tillage and consuming less energy in the process. We got a lot to learn there yet, and some of the things that are more energy intensive have been a big help to us, and some of the things that are required less have created management problems for us, so there must be something somewhere in between there that can help move us that direction. Right now, one of our big problems on the grain processing is enough product to work with. I probably could have market right now for 6 to 8 million pounds more popcorn than we have available. And number of companies that have asked to work with us on longer term projects, but we don't have access to enough organic acres to do that. So part of the problem we're struggling is do we go offshore to do that? Do we look to Argentina, Brazil, Peru, Nicaragua, some of those places for production? It's a hard thing to do. I don't like the idea of moving product like that all over the world. That's not very sustainable. And at the same time, you hate to lose markets or have markets not developed that could become a resource for farmers here down the road. So we're kind of struggling with that piece of it. There's all kinds of opportunities in specialty food products. And again, it's acres and having the material to make those products with. We have requests for a lot more than what we can handle here. And so how do you grow to meet that, or do you decide not to grow to meet that? Do you try to do more with less? I like the idea of having a lot of diversity, not only on the farm but in the business, because if one segment loses ground in the marketplace, at least you're not sitting there with everything and depending on one narrow range of products to keep your operation viable. Same way on the farm. We never develop cropping and planting decisions based on the market. It's based on the rotation that serves the farm the best. That is what keeps it whole, sustainable, and self-renewing the best. And we found over time that's also the most profitable.
What sort of modifications did you have to make to deal with the products?
A lot of what we do here in the processing is unique in that a lot of our customers have been told by other manufacturers that it can't be done. So that I kind of take that as a challenge up front. Figuring out how to do something that can't be done, that's always, and some of our biggest customers have been developed because we were able to do that. But it's figuring out how to do some things that nobody else can do. And I shared with them earlier that one of the products we made, as when we were very small volumes, we could grind this product in a very small mill because we could dissipate heat and moisture that's released in the milling process fast enough to keep the high fat content of the formula from emulsifying and blinding the screen. When we got to larger volumes, our equipment is too large and we can't get rid of heat and moisture. As long as it's really cold, we're okay. But as soon as the machinery warms up a little bit, it emulsifies and blinds the screen. How did we get around that? Well, there's several ways to do it, and one of them is to buy a lot of little mills and grind a little bit at a time over a long time. That's not too practical because of the time frame it takes. And the other one is to figure out how to make that formula. So we address that by pressing the oil out of some of the ingredients. Sunflower kernel, for instance, very high fat, about 50%. We press the oil out of that, take the meal pellets from that, put that in the formula, mill the formula, but when we get ready to extrude it, we put the oil back in. So that's how we've gotten around one of those, but there's a number of other things that are similar to that we've worked around through the years, try and figure out how to make that system work.